Well, I think they know we've seen each other before, dear. Why don't you just take a couple of deep breaths and try and relax and pretend you're in Lamaze class or something.
Don Johnson names the one woman he regrets losing. Some love stories don't end with a clean break. They transform, linger, and quietly shape everything that comes after. For Don Johnson, one relationship stands above all the rest, not because it lasted forever, but because it didn't. Despite building a stable family and a life far removed from the tabloid headlines of the 80s, there is a connection from his past that still carries undeniable weight. Friends close to the actor say the bond never truly disappeared. Now, in a rare moment of honesty, Johnson has named the one woman he regrets losing. The truth behind that admission is more complicated than anyone imagined. Welcome back to Prestige Buzz. Today, we're diving deep into the turbulent, passionate, and enduring saga of Don Johnson and the woman who defined his life. The Scars of Flat Creek. The story begins in Flat Creek, Missouri. Don Johnson was born to teenage parents, entering a world defined by a deep sense of abandonment and struggle. Underneath a seemingly idyllic surface, Johnson faced abuse and the psychological weight of poverty. His drive came from watching his parents grind for every penny, moving from Missouri to Wichita, Kansas, where his father worked at Boeing. But the emotional toll was heavy. When his parents divorced when he was 11, Johnson spiraled. He was a rebel without a cause, eventually landing in juvenile court. The judge sent him to live with his father, a move that introduced him to the outdoors and a sense of structure. By 16, however, the pressure of providing for his siblings became too much. Johnson walked away from home, carrying nothing but a newfound resilience. That toughness would be his greatest asset as he set his sights on the stage. A dangerous early love. By 1970, Johnson had cracked the door to Hollywood. He was working, but he wasn't a star. He was stuck in a cycle of forgettable films until one project changed everything, The Harrat Experiment. On that set, a 22-year-old Johnson met a 14-year-old Melanie Griffith, the daughter of his co-star Tippi Hedren. The connection was instant and electric. Melanie later recalled being completely struck by him, seeing him as the most beautiful person she had ever laid eyes on. Despite the controversial age gap, their chemistry was undeniable. Johnson found himself picking Griffith up from high school, a surreal experience for a working actor. When Griffith was expelled at 15, she moved directly into a Hollywood rental with him. Their relationship was a firestorm. They split in 1975, only to implode and reunite a year later in dramatic fashion. After an emotional 4 a.m. phone call, they flew to Las Vegas and married. But the marriage was born of desperation, not stability. It lasted only months, ending in a mess of impulsive decisions and unreadiness. The rise of an icon. As his personal life crumbled, Johnson's career finally ignited. In 1984, he landed the role of Sonny Crockett on Miami Vice. Ironically, he almost passed it up to stay out on his boat in Florida. Miami Vice didn't just make him a star, it made him a cultural deity. The stubble, the pastel t-shirts, the loafers with no socks, Johnson became the face of cool in the Reagan era. But fame was a double-edged sword. To cope with the pressure, Johnson leaned heavily on alcohol and drugs. Amidst the height of his fame, he dated icons like Barbra Streisand. They were a true power couple, but even Streisand's influence couldn't compete with the pull of his past. In 1987, while helping Melanie Griffith enter rehab, the old sparks turned into a wildfire. Johnson realized his heart had never truly moved on. The Second Chance and the Quiet End. In 1989, Don and Melanie gave it another shot, marrying for the second time. This period was their golden era. Both were sober, focused on family, and living in the serenity of Aspen. Later that year, they welcomed their daughter, Dakota Johnson. For a while, they had it all. They starred in films together like Paradise and Born Yesterday. But as the 90s progressed, the cracks returned. Sobriety proved to be a non-linear path. By 1994, both were struggling with relapses and the crushing weight of public scrutiny. They divorced for the final time in 1996. A new chapter and a lasting bond. In 1999, Don Johnson's life took a permanent, quieter turn when he married Kelly Flager, a schoolteacher. With Kelly, he found the stability he had chased for decades. He walked away from the excess, the drinking, and the leading man ego to become a present father to his 5 children. But here is the truth that Prestige Buzz has uncovered: though he is happily married and committed to Kelly, Johnson's affection for Melanie Griffith has never faded. Sources say that in recent years, the two have grown noticeably close. They are unified by their pride in Dakota's skyrocketing career and their shared history of survival. Johnson has remained a pillar of support for Melanie through her serious health battles, including her struggles with skin cancer and epilepsy. The woman he regrets losing. When people ask who the one is, the answer is nuanced. Johnson doesn't regret his current life, but he openly regrets the way things ended with Melanie, the lost years to addiction and the chaos that prevented their forever. Today, there is no drama. Only mutual respect. Johnson has even joked about playing matchmaker for her, proving that while the romance died, the love evolved into something perhaps more durable, a lifelong friendship. After a lifetime of reinvention, Don Johnson finally found what he was searching for. It wasn't a hit show or a headline. It was the peace of knowing that even the messiest love stories can end in a place of grace. What do you think of Don and Melanie's legendary connection? Is it possible to truly be friends with an eternal flame? Let us know in the comments below. If you love deep dives into Hollywood's most iconic stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Prestige Buzz, and hit that bell notification so you never miss an update.